Welcome back to IGAD ONE. Today, Karen joins us for the second part of our conversation on the IGAD Treaty. Viewers, do you remember last week we looked back at the 1996 agreement establishing IGAD and what ratification meant? Today, we turn to the next chapter. How will this new treaty shape IGAD's future, what it means for member states, and why does this milestone matter for the region and its people? So Karen, I'll start by asking you if you can name 2 or 3 reforms that matter most for the organization and its member states, what would they be?
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Iman. What a pleasure to be back and to continue with this very important conversation. So we're going to witness quite a number of reforms. I'll just mention a few. There are the obvious ones, just on the face value of it. Now, we are introducing Arabic as an official language of IGAD. We have 2 official languages as of now. That is English and French. But 4 of our member states also speak Arabic.
Exactly.
So there's need, definitely, to have Arabic as another language added. Then we also have the introduction of the Deputy Executive Secretary / secretaries. So when you look at the crafting of the treaty, it doesn't limit to the number of deputies that would be required.
Okay.
So there's that provision, and that gives us very good flexibility. We have the introduction of the audit committee. Yes, we do have a charter of the audit committee, which is of 2012, but we have never implemented it yet for one reason or the other. But now we have it in the treaty.
What does that matter, having...
It matters a lot because it is an independent committee.
Okay.
Who report directly to the Council of Ministers.
So they're external.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are external. They sit in between. The interpretation of it also is a separate legal situation. We have already begun with the audit unit.
Yes.
Internal one.
Yes.
And the finance as well. And we gladly now even have proper membership.
Wow.
Yes. So it's something that has already kicked off. We're very happy about that. And that also adds up to our accountability.
Of course.
Yes.
And how is the audit what
connected to that?
Yes.
The internal audit, we have the internal audit, and we have the audit committee.
Okay.
So as I said, that's a whole unpacking of the charter and what it means. Now we have the membership. And we would actually require a proper take-through of it to the members first, and then now we can come back. Because it's a document that is of 2012.
Okay.
And now we have a full membership. It might require amendment. It's not up to us. The members are looking at it.
How are the members chosen?
Yes.
Yes.
It is optional.
Okay.
We did a note verbal and sent out and said we need 5 members. So we're very glad because most of our member states came in.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, we have some limitations on who can and who cannot be, based on reasons such as who's the chair, from which country is the ES. So we have those aspects that are also in the charter.
Okay.
And as I said, why I'm giving very minimal information about this is because it's something that we are also doing separately, totally separately, and we'll have a beefed up breakdown of the audit charter. Yeah, but it's a major, major reform in the treaty.
Okay.
The other thing is the language of the treaty.
Yes.
In terms of the content is very much broader. Like this treaty will last the organization even 30, 50 years without needing any kind of
revision.
Addition. So we also have a provision on amendment anyway.
Yes.
So the revision is open.
Okay.
So it's wonderful that we have amendment clauses.
Yes.
An amendment clause rather.
Yes.
To it. Now, when I go to the principles, there's a major evolution. When we look at, now I'll refer to the agreement as 1996, and I'll refer to the treaty as 2023, just to get the difference. So when we look at the 1996, we see that in terms of principles, there's this mention of the sovereignty, non-interference, human rights is mentioned generally, and it's in connection with the African Charter on Human Rights. And it's generally mentioned. Then we have dialogue in case of conflict, inter and intra. But now, when we come to the 2023, all that is mentioned. However, we have now included the rule of law, which is explicitly addressed. We have constitutionalism, democracy, accountability, transparency. Gender equality is actually mentioned as one of the principles, and we have, it's embedded completely in the treaty as a principle, and we have market-driven plus people-centered integration. So you see there's that broad evolution.
Yes.
That is in terms of the principles. Now we can come to the scope of cooperation. There is major expansion. 1996 focused mainly on agriculture, trade, transport, environment, peace and security, humanitarian response, like I mentioned in the mandate. Now, 2023 expands to free movement,
Yes.
transhumance and mobility, gender equality and empowerment, disability inclusion, private and civil society participation, stronger governance and institutional development. That is notable in the treaty. And we have broader socio-economic integration. That is on the scope of cooperation.
Yes.
And then the other one, now when I go to free movement,
Yes.
just to expand a little bit on that scope of cooperation, 1996 mentions this as an objective. Okay. But 2023 gives an explicit commitment to free movement of persons, labor, capital, services, goods, etc. And as we know, we have our protocols.
Yes.
Right now, we are moving towards it. Though it was an objective, of course, IGAD being IGAD, we already go ahead and do what our member states ask us to do.
Of course.
And we are currently going on with the attempt for ratification of the free movement and the transhumance protocols.
Yes.
And because the protocols are going to form an integral part of the treaty and annexes as well, by member states ratifying these protocols, they are actually abiding by their commitments to the treaty.
Okay.
Yes. So that is how important our protocols are, because they really form an integral part, and member states will be abiding by them, by that commitment that we have already seen.
This puts an emphasis on the importance of these protocols in the new treaty compared to the 1996 one.
Yes. And the encouragement we can only put on our member states to continue to understand our protocols, to work with us, and to ratify them.
Of course.
Yes. Another reform is on the governance and sanction system. I will just give one example on finance.
Okay.
Our member states, of course, we have sessions with them on the assessed contributions.
Yes.
So when we look at the 1996, enforcement is a bit limited on how member states commit to and abide by their commitments, rather, on the assessed contribution. When we look at the 2023, we have introduced stronger enforcement to these commitments, and we have added tools, like we have sanctions for non-compliance, we have suspension of member states, we have different steps, of course.
Of course, okay.
And we also have the expulsion provision for our member states. And now we have clear direction on dispute resolution mechanisms. In 96, we spoke mostly of dialogue. 2023, now we have clear modes of how we resolve conflicts. And I'll speak a little bit more about the sanctions because it's an article in the treaty. When we presented it, after the legal experts were happy with the document, there came a suggestion from one of our member states, which was embraced by all, including ourselves. We thought that was a very good idea. The sanctions itself, as I said, is an article in the treaty. Yes. But now they have asked us to work on the rules on sanctions.
Okay. So how can a member state be suspended or expelled?
Yes. Well, it's again step by step.
Okay.
And that again, when we get to the breakdown of each article, I will get deeper into that.
Okay.
Yeah. But on sanctions, I felt that was very great idea.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to that discussion on the rules on sanctions.
Okay.
Yeah. And now that I'm speaking about the rules, IGAD also has the rules of procedure on IGAD meetings. It is a 1997 document. It is one document. That is for the meetings of the organs, policy organs.
Yes.
We follow the rules in one document, but they are 1997. Over time, we have noted that different organs have different dynamics in terms of how they run their meetings. Yes. So there is need also to have 3 sets for the summit, for the assembly, for the council, and for the committee.
So the rules of procedures is included in the new treaty?
No, this, of course, they go hand in hand because the rules of procedure are strictly for meetings, policy organ meetings.
Okay.
And that also is explained in the different articles, the beginning, among the first chapters on our organs, because there's a whole lot about how often they meet and who comes before who.
Okay.
The ordinary and extraordinary. Now, these rules govern those meetings.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now I understand.
Exactly. So these meetings require to be split. And we're happy to state that we have actually done that. Yeah. During one of the times when we discussed the treaty, I think the last day, we went into breaking it down. So when I say we really appreciate our member states, it's because the midnight oil was banned. So much commitment, and that we appreciate a lot. They are not yet in force because they need to be validated.
Of course.
Yeah. So we are waiting for the next policy organ, whichever will be, and we'll present the rules. When accepted, validated, now they will get into force.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when we look at another reform, let's look probably at the peace and security very briefly.
Yes.
1996 factored mostly conflict prevention and resolution through dialogue. 2023 is strengthened. It emphasizes and embraces good governance as a foundation for peace. And you know, we cannot attain anything without peace.
Of course.
So that's why I just thought of mentioning it briefly. And we also have a more structured dispute resolution mechanism. Yeah. So because we really have to begin at the very easiest point or lowest, easy in quotes in terms of the softest, to address everything. And institutionalized peace architecture through our PSD division. Again, that would be another whole separate conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. Then again, on the financial governance, 1996 contributions plus donations, and also introduced the drought fund. 2023 has stronger system.
Okay.
We have the audits, the external audits. I mentioned a bit about the audit committee.
Yeah.
We have the financial rules, which are aligned with international global standards. And we have a broader funding architecture. On the legal transition, that's another reform. 1996 was foundational. It was the foundational agreement. And 2023 is very, very specific, very explicit. It is an entire replacement of the 1996. It's not an amendment. The moment the treaty comes into force, the agreement ceases to exist.
Okay.
Legally, of course, we have answered this, but it will take effect after 2/3 deposit of the instrument plus 60 days.
Yes.
Yes. And then it also provides for an amendment. And it's one of my favorite articles in the treaty because nothing delays. As we know, of course, nothing is cast on stone. And we never want to have any gray areas
Of course.
in law. So in case there is need for an amendment, the maximum number of days, the longest before it is presented before the assembly, would be 120 days before that proposed amendment is addressed and finalized. Yeah, whether accepted or whichever way, maximum number of days is 120.
4
and
months.
Yes, and actually I don't even envisage seeing the 120 days. It will definitely be lesser than that. Again, that's a breakdown we will get into because I believe there'll be need for us to go article by article at some point. Of course, not every article, but those which we would feel would be of importance. So the 2023 is a full legal replacement.
So Karen, the treaty is described as strengthening institutional structures and improving legal clarity and accountability. But how does that look like in practice? And how will IGAD operate under that new framework?
Yeah, so of course we have to look at its implementation. We have to know how are we going to transition from 1996 to 2023. And now this is where the legal unit comes in very strongly. we do have clauses in the treaty that may will definitely address the transition. We have like the saving clauses to ensure that there is smooth transition.
Saving clauses?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Just to ensure that whatever is in place already is not going to be interfered with, quote unquote. There's a smooth transition to ensure that nothing stalls, and whatever a member state had committed to is not going to be defeated by this treaty getting into effect. Exactly. So in terms of transition arrangements, we have institutionally and now for our member states. We will ensure that there's continuation of institution, the programs, the projects, the organs, everything that's going on will not be stalled. So it's going to be a very smooth transition. And we always have to come in to ensure that there's that flawless transition, if I may use that word. So ongoing projects, staff and administrative tasks will continue. Yes. Policy frameworks will continue as they are, only improving where need be.
Yes.
So in short, we're going to have very gradual implementation of the new structures, if any. And then with Arabic.
Of course.
Yes.
So everything, the documents will be translated to Arabic?
Excellent. Absolutely.
Okay.
So that is going to be a very, very heavy duty.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Not just financially, but also quality-wise. Speaking from the unit that I had, this will be legal documents, and I would not want that chance of, a lot of meaning may get lost in interpretation. In translation, rather. So if it's a legal document, we really have to get somebody who has the legal background to understand what it means and to translate it to Arabic. Yes. To avoid any kind of confusion or losing of meaning.
Yes.
Yes. So that again will come to that. And lucky for us, we have 4 member states that speak Arabic.
Yes.
So that's also another process that we are looking forward to. Implementation now, domestication by our member states. We have to go by each member state's constitutional provisions.
Okay.
Yes. Among all our member states, we have to understand how do they do the domestication of treaties and support them in that regard. So that's another interesting task we're looking forward to. And then because their procedures have to be respected as per each member state respectively. Then, as I said, our policies form an integral part of the treaty, and we just have to ensure alignment. That will go deeper into the implementation as well. So implementation is not only on the entire treaty, but also on the policies, which are part of the treaty, which will form part of the treaty when it comes into force. And then implementing new provisions as IGAD will operate under the new framework.
Yes.
Continuous capacity building. Charity has to begin at home. So we'll first target our colleagues, staff, to understand fully. We'll be very, very aggressive with that.
Of course.
Yes, and then we'll take it to our partners and our member states periodically as need be. So it will be a continuous process until we totally understand it.
Karen, the treaty has now reached its ratification threshold, but what kind of support does IGAD need from its member states?
Absolutely. Now, first is to really be thankful to our member states. This commitment from our member states is deeply, deeply appreciated. And we can only look forward to a better IGAD, a better region, and happier citizens of our region. Now, this treaty is designed to reflect the current regional realities, to enhance better coordinated mechanisms. Remember when I spoke of the spirit of brotherhood that really embedded why IGAD came into place in the first place, all the way back in 1986 and transitioned and morphed up to what we are today. That will always be the backbone of it. So cooperation, coordination mechanisms, this treaty enhances that. And also to improve legal clarity is very important, and accountability. Enhanced areas of cooperation, we now have them. It's a whole article in the treaty. We have, that should be Article 24, and we have 18 listed areas of cooperation. And promotion of member states' ownership of their organization, their institution, yeah? And it will come into force 60 days after deposit. Yes, I know I have repeated all that because I am really looking forward to that countdown, absolutely. Yes. And so far, we have received, like I said, 4 deposits, but 5 ratifications. Yeah, and can't emphasize more how much we're looking forward to that. We will need quite some support, continued support from our member states. And I will speak first from the legal unit. The legal unit is going to play a very key role to ensure that this treaty comes into fruition successfully, smoothly, and with all the requirements and understanding that everybody requires. So we'll do the interpretation and application, proper interpretation and application, where we will require member state support in terms of interpretation of some clauses. We have our legal experts from member states. Yes. We will do sensitization, like what we're doing now. It's just the beginning. We'll continue in every form, in every manner. So we'll need our member states' participation and support in every way. Where we'll need their support, where we'll need their presence, we will be in communication. Capacity building will continue, of course, led by the legal unit. Yeah. We'll have to ensure timelines are respected and adhered to. We'll have continuous engagement with member states. We will do a lot of legal briefs and opinions to every partner, every member state when need be, every colleague, both verbal and written. We'll continually do that. And we will be more than happy to also support the academia, because why not? This is would be a very interesting international law unit class. Just to speak about the IGAD treaty, the journey it has taken, the challenges that have been faced, the successes, what ratification would be like.
The trials and tribulations.
Absolutely, the ratification, the domestication, where we are at, how we handle this very special, volatile region, and how we ensured that we actually succeeded to get to where we are. So it's going to be a step-by-step, beautiful journey that we are all looking forward to. And then, of course, we'll have the literal breakdown of each article. And we will patiently do this. So, and for our areas of cooperation, of course, with our different divisions, we will require member states to continue collaboration with our staff, colleagues, in their respective areas.
Yes.
And we'll, of course, because we are a cross-cutting unit, we'll ensure that that also happens smoothly. So the continued cooperation of member states is embraced, and we are really looking forward to it. So in our engagement with member states, we are now shifting from negotiation and ratification into actual implementation, compliance, and institutional operationalization. So that collaboration and cooperation and support from our member states cannot be emphasized enough to ensure that compliance, yeah? And the most critical support required probably from member state is the practical cooperation.
Karen, thank you so much. You'll be joining us next week to further discuss the benefits of the treaty for its member states and its citizens.
Absolutely. So that segment will be catered by Caroline. Caroline is my colleague at the legal unit. And you can see the treaty is not just a legal document. It has a lot of history on it. It touches on the citizens of this region and the member states directly. So my colleague Caroline, who is a lawyer like me, has a broad perspective and understanding of the region and the treaty, because she has been in it for years more than the ones I've been in. And she will be best placed to, she's the legal advisor of the institution, and she will be best placed to take us through the benefits to member states and citizens. And I'm really looking forward to that segment as well, and to listening in and to tapping into the knowledge that she carries.
Karen, again, thank you so much. And to you, our viewers, thank you for joining us today as well. See you next week.